to answer all of you guys' questions about being an international student here in New York City. So those of you who follow me on Instagram will know that I put up a Q&A where you guys could ask me anything about studying here as an international student. So I will try to answer all of those questions in this video. So for those of you who doesn't know, I just graduated a Master of Professional Studies in Fashion Marketing. So the school that I went to is called LIM College. Not everyone knows it because when you mention you're studying something relating to fashion, people are always assuming that you're studying at Parsons or FIT, and those are kind of similar schools. However, LIM is a quite small school and they specialize in the business of fashion, so they don't have like the fashion design part. It's a one-year degree, so throughout the 2 semesters you will have like different courses such as PR, new media, course marketing, services marketing, a lot of interesting subjects. And then for the 3rd semester, like your final semester, you would usually have an internship. That was like a big part of the reason why I chose to study this. I thought it was like the perfect combination, but then COVID hit. So unfortunately I didn't get to intern, which was such a shame. I think it would have been so important to me just to get like the experience. It's not like I don't have experience in the industry, it's just different being in a big city like New York, working here, getting different connections and just the network that I could have gained, and maybe that is something that would have helped me for future jobs here. The school kind of like last minute came up with a kind of a substitute course for it, and I know this no one was prepared for this, so obviously it's hard to figure out, okay, what are we going to do now when our students can't go do an internship. It's been so disappointing just having that kind of replacement course instead. It just didn't give me the same at all that I would have gotten from an internship. So obviously that's really, really sad. No one could have predicted this. But overall, I like almost all of my courses. I found them super, super interesting, and I loved going to school every day. When you're studying a graduate degree at LIM, all your classes are in the afternoon or evening, which means that you're able to work during the day. And that's perfect if you want to try to save up some money, so you can pay your rent or pay for the school and everything. Unfortunately, as an international student, you're not allowed to just go and work on your visa while you are enrolled in a program. So the only thing you're allowed to work with is actually on campus, and I was fortunate enough to get a job on campus as a student worker in the online admissions office. That really helped me out a lot financially, and it was great, going into an office and having some work there. So really like that. So the application process. Well, I'm gonna try to make this really short because honestly, I found it, I don't know if it's complicated, but I just remember the application process as being so long. Everything would just take forever because when you apply to a school, or you have to apply for a visa and everything, the whole process is very big, and it's not just depending on you. First you have to go through World Education Services, and they are basically the organization that will review your transcripts from your country and then try to translate them into American transcripts to see if you're entitled to study a graduate degree, or which degree you're entitled to study. That was definitely not easy. Having my 2 previous schools that I went to in Denmark sent these. It took forever, and it was really hard to get them to actually work with me. So that's definitely a process. I'll say be out really early to get that stuff out of the way and do that. Because it can be a lengthy process. When you're studying a graduate degree, they most often require you to do some sort of English proficiency test. I took the TOEFL test. It also really depends from school to school, how many points they require. So definitely look into that. I remember that Parsons, they required more points than LIM did. So just be aware that it's just different from school to school. I am going to do a blog post about that just so you can read a little bit more about it if you want to. I have put some very useful blog posts up on my blog about the application process and a little bit more about the school. So I'll link to them below this video just so you can go and read them for reference. So for the visa process, I had to apply for an F1 visa, which is a student visa. So this visa allowed me to study here in the US, but it also allows me to work here for a year afterwards. So that's definitely worth taking into consideration if you are planning on staying in the US after. So for me, I think it's a really great option. The process of applying to the visa, that was pretty lengthy as well, because there were so many things that had to get in order before I could book my visa meeting. And that's the easy part, booking the visa meeting and having the meeting. That's the easy part, definitely. But everything that goes before that, that was such a long process as well. When applying for an F1 visa, you have to document that you are able to live in this country. So I would need to document that I had enough money to live here and pay for my school. I can't remember the exact amount, but I will put it up on the screen here. You don't necessarily need to have all the money on your account at that time, but you need to have some documents showing, hey, I'm able to borrow this from my bank, or my parents will fund me, or something like that. So you just have to have all this paperwork done before, and that can be quite comprehensive actually. So that really took me a while, because I also had to figure out my financial situation, because it is a lot of money that you have to save up for this. We are definitely very privileged that we don't pay for education in Denmark, but it also means that no one will have savings for studying. So the question that I get the most is, how do I finance my stay here? Like everything, school, housing, food, going out. I guess we all know that New York City is a very expensive city to live in. I understand why people ask me that question. Let me start with telling you what I did before going here. So I obviously had to save up all the money I could before I went. I really just did save up a lot of money through my jobs. I tried to be very sensible when it came to my money. I really had to think about what I spent them on. And then I've also lent some money, and that's really great if you have that option. So just figure out your options, what's the cheapest option, and set up a plan for you to pay the money back. When it comes to the housing, I must say that I think that I've just been very fortunate. As I've mentioned before, I have what you call a room and board sponsor, which means I live with some people who finance my rent and my food, I guess you can say. So it just means that I've moved into their apartment, I have a room here, and I get to eat the food that's here. So I mean, it's definitely easier said than done to just get that, because these were people that I knew already. So I mean, we obviously already had a good relationship and kind of knew that we could make it work living together. And it's harder to get strangers to do that, because they have to sign, okay, for the year she's studying, we are gonna promise that we will have her stay here. That is a thing that I appreciate so much, because it's helped me a long way. Just because rent is really expensive in New York. So for me, that's been really great. And now when I finish my studies, they have just really been okay with me still staying here, so that's great. So right now I'm waiting to get my OPT application approved. OPT stands for Optional Practical Training, and that is basically the employment authorization that you can get after you finish your studies. But it's not something you just get automatically, so you have to apply for it. It usually takes 3 to 5 months to get approved, so I also have to wait a really long time, and I'm not really allowed to work here in the meantime, so I just have to wait, which means that I don't really have an income here. They also do not recommend that you leave the country while you're waiting for the process to be approved, because there are so many factors that goes into it. But you know, they just recommend stay in the country until you get your answer and all that. So I just hope that it goes quick, but it seems like everything is just taking longer now during the COVID. So I'll just have to really be patient and wait and see. Try to make the best of it while I'm in this great city. So fingers crossed that I'll have some answer before Christmas. People ask, like, what are you gonna do now when you finish your studies? And that's kind of it. Like, apply for OPT and just wait for that process. In the meantime, like, it's not like I have a lot of set plans. I'm just gonna try to focus a lot more on making some YouTube videos, creating some good blog posts for you guys, and I will be doing more apartment hunt videos, because obviously everything depends on whether I find a job or not. If everything goes to plan, I hope to find a job like in the beginning of the new year, and then it would be great if I would find an apartment like maybe a couple of months after that. I'll definitely just still keep go apartment hunting, because I find it super exciting, and also now the prices are going down because of the whole COVID-19 situation. So for all of you asking for more apartment hunt content, there will be more. Hopefully my next video will be one of those. But if you hit that subscribe button and also the bell, you'll get notifications and you'll see when I have my next video up. So guys, this was all I had for now. If you have any more questions related to the whole studying in New York, then just put them in the comments down below this video and I'll answer them as good as I can. Bye!